Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere, and even earn money. We like that. All in one place for totally free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your cellular telephone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else, those other places that podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free, zero catch. We've been using it ever since we started How Long Gone. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like having the option of turning off the Q&As and the polls on the user dashboard has really helped boost my creativity and take it to another level. I highly recommend giving it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started. Yeah, Chris, how are you? Monday morning, How Long Gone? Another episode. A lot of stuff going on in the world today. I've heard, but first and most importantly, we want to introduce the fact that this show is supported by Manscaped.
Manscaped, from what I understand, I wouldn't know, is the best in below the belt grooming.
You wouldn't know why, Chris?
Because I didn't use this product.
All right, off to a great start. So, Manscaped offers precision...
I'm just kidding. I didn't use the product, but I wore the boxer briefs.
You wore the boxer briefs? How did they fit? I was actually very curious.
I would say the fit is nice. I mean, the spray is an interesting product. I will say that.
Which spray is that, Chris?
I believe it's the I can't deal with this. It's the spray for your testicles.
Okay.
They like to use the word balls, which feels a little, it feels a little young for me. I feel like testicles. I like to go a little more medical with this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, procedural. The testes.
I'm interested in the light feature of this thing because I'm still looking for those people who are interested in grooming their body in complete darkness. It just seems like a really interesting choice, but they really play that up in the ad. They really love to promote that part of that feature.
I've used it, and when it's not in complete darkness, and it does offer a helping hand that you would think would not be a big deal, but sometimes we're in a little bit more of a low light situation, maybe for our fellas out there or our ladies who are camping. What about, you mean people who got their light bill shut off because they can't pay because of COVID? This is what you need. Well, if you got your light bill cut off, that means that you also have your ball trimming device charging station cut off.
Yeah, but I'm sure it comes charged, so you have at least a couple hours.
Of course it ships with a couple hours worth of juice in there. They're not monsters. Better than what, failing Steve Jobs could have ever done.
So if you're taking an outdoor shower because your heat got turned off and your lights got turned off.
Let me be clear, it is not waterproof. Do not use it in the outdoor shower.
COVID-19. Hopefully you still have USB power in your car so you could charge it there. But yeah, look, if you want to get 20% off on this Manscaped product plus free shipping, use the code GONE, GONE at manscaped.com and, make your testes their besties. I said it.
Really didn't expect you to take the houseless demographic angle with this freeform ad read. I thought, since you are such a big fan of the boxers, obviously you like the fact that you can kind of do like a subscription on it because you suffer from the dreaded swamp crotch. And it's cool of you to be open about that and know that you need specifically engineered underwear that, features microfiber technology to keep your high friction areas cool.
I'm a survivor, and I'm talking to other survivors.
That's awesome. So, yeah, if you want to support the podcast in all seriousness, you need to... I use it to trim my beard all the time, and it actually works quite well. It's wireless for when you travel, have a light on it. So if you're like, I'm going to go out of town right after we record this pod, I'm going to pack my Manscaped ball trimmer in there in case I need to trim up the beard or the mustache for an important date. Where I'm just kidding, there's going to be no date. We're living in COVID now, but it works out well. And then if you have anything similar to the swamp crotch that Chris is experiencing, the microfiber performance boxers, they have 5 stars on manscaped.com. So they must be really good.
I bet they do. Who gave them the stars, themselves?
I don't know how the web works. We're
native and organic cats, and that's the kind of ads we're going to bring you guys. All right, let's get into it, TJ.
Yeah, and if you are discovering this show for the first time because you listened to last episode featuring Sasha Freer-Jones telling a very emotional and serious story, I am sorry that we are getting off on the wrong foot with a nut hair ad. But, it's important that we contain multitudes.
Yeah, I mean, podcasting is unfortunately a game where unless you're going to digitally beg your listeners for money, this is what you have to do, and Jason, I'm not above it, and neither are you, and that's why we do this podcast together.
I don't panhandle. I manhandle. Manscaped.com.
Oh, let's go, baby. Enter code GONE at checkout. Oh, my goodness. That's bars. Damn. I saw that Dr. Dre was back in the studio, but I didn't know that Jeans was back in the studio.
Is Dr. Dre alive?
Dr. Dre did live, yeah. Among all of the incredible news this week, Dr. Dre has returned to the studio. He posted a photo, a squad photo in the studio where he looked.
Wait, he's already in the studio?
Bitch, he lived in the studio just like he's like me. He lives in the studio. That's what we do. It's natural.
He's been around all this electronic equipment and gear for so long that it straight up gave him a brain tumor. So maybe just take a step back.
I mean, look, he's got an angry ex-wife. He's gonna have to pay like $1 million a day to. So he's probably back in the studio. He's probably gonna have to work with Eminem again. That's how bad it's gotten.
Do you remember the photo of him and his wife in better times when they were wearing matching T-shirts?
What did they say, Jason?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It may have been a wife beater style shirt, tank. Or
we don't call those wife beaters anymore, Jason. They're called A shirts.
I call them ribbed sex tanks, but you can call them
that work. Anything works.
Shirt.
Whatever you want.
What's better than
works.
A shirt? An AA shirt. Use the promo code GONE at AmericanApparel.com if you want to buy better shirts than most other brands.
Shout out to Jason's old buddy Dov Charney. I know he's listening.
Dov.
But yeah.
Okay, so what were we even talking? Okay, so yeah, there's a photo of them posing together where Dr. Dre has a bit of a sultry grin on his face, and he's wearing a T-shirt that simply just says the words "motherfucker," and then his
oh yeah, I do know that.
And then his woman of the night life partner is wearing a shirt that says "mother." So he wants to let everyone know that he has sex with his wife, like an absolute freak.
That's pretty cool, Dr. Dre. Man, it has been an absolute insane week of news. It really is. I was listening to a few podcasts this morning, before my workout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your Sunday morning ritual. You had to go to church.
Yeah, I went to church and then I listened to Tim Dillon. Then I listened to Red Scare. So I was trying to undo everything I learned at church.
You had a double dose of.
No, it was a lot. But Tim Dillon made a great joke about doing...
Of Trump supporters.
Tim Dillon made a great joke about doing coke off a Gin Blossom CD and hating Elon Musk. So I felt of close kinship to him. I don't agree with him all the time, but when he talks about doing coke off a Gin Blossom CD, now we're talking.
Yeah, that is ripped from the pages of your life's story.
Truly. But no, I mean, we've had... It's just coming at us from every angle this week.
What did he have to say about my main man, Elon?
He was just saying that he's a fucking dork and that people who worship at the altar of him are also dorks. And that it's like, which, I mean, I've said before, I mean, it's a fucking car and I don't care about space. But like, he was basically saying, this is funny. He was saying that he was with friends who'd had COVID and they were trying to tell him that it's like worse than cancer. And he was like, they were like, you just don't get it. He's like, no, I do get it. It's really bad, guys. I understand that COVID is really bad, but it's not as bad as having pancreatic cancer. You can't say that. You're alive. Like, you can't say that. Mm-hmm. And he was just saying it's the same thing with Tesla driver. Like, people are like, you just don't get it. If you don't have a Tesla, you just don't get it. It's like the way you make jokes about stopping at a gas station or, having to drive a car yourself. It's a similar kind of through line that you would make to me.
Okay, I understand that.
It was pretty funny. But I mean, Elon's not the hottest story this last week, Jason. Unfortunately,
it is true. I mean, it wasn't even really a story at all, other than him becoming the world's richest man. I guess that's kind of a decent sized story. But that seems like weeks ago at this point.
I know it does, and I also think that richest man, richest person stuff it really fluctuates more often than we realize.
Ooh, not unlike Tesla's stock, am I right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think it's all stock related.
Okay,
so
I went there.
Something shifts, and then all of a sudden, Bezos is back on top. So choose your devil wisely, losers.
Let's hope.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, we just had the Armie hammer cannibal stuff, which is the gift that keeps on giving.
I haven't really chosen to interact with it because it's like really sad and dark. Like it's funny that he's doing. I mean, I guess maybe it's not even funny. I don't know.
No, it's fun. No, it's funny. Everything about it is funny. It's also sad and dark, and that's okay.
As long as the victims of his cannibalism are consenting, then I guess that is. Well, cool.
I think that's the thing about his cannibalism. I think it's merely a fantasy. I don't think he's ever actually eaten someone's heart. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe, who knows?
Well,
I don't know what the rich and famous have access to.
I think that he has definitely consumed the still beating heart of a small animal. That's not off the table.
Well, you're an adventurous eater, Jason. Have you ever had that sort of delicacy?
I mean, I've eaten heart many a time, but it's always been cooked, I think.
And just to be clear, I want to make this very clear, not human.
Not human, as far as I know, and also not, still warm and beating because I had just plunged it from the depths of its
I see.
sternum.
But
I mean, but it's dark because he's like posting videos of him like smoking DMT out of a vape and being like, "Hell yeah, my like court drug test that I have to take so I can see my kids doesn't check for DMT."
What's dark about that? That's cool as hell, bro. Vaping DMT at the Ritz-Carlton in the Cayman Islands, Jason, you tell me you don't want to do that, you're lying.
Okay, vaping DMT at the Ritz-Carlton is cool. I mean, I'll be at the Ritz in Santa Barbara in just a few hours.
Don't flex on me while I'm in my parents' bedroom. Don't do that.
I mean, and if I were to have a vape loaded up with the drug DMT, and I took some and watched diners, drive-ins, and dives in the privacy of my own home or hotel, that is great. I will go on a spiritual journey, and it'll be fine. If I ever get drug tested, they won't find anything.
We are just FYI, as the leader of this show, I did want to inform you that, unfortunately, due to a shift in corporate policy, we will be drug testing at How Long Gone in 2021, just for insurance purposes. We can talk about it later.
This is going to pose a bit of an issue for me, I will say. Just coming at just first position, I'm going to have to push back a little bit on that.
Look, I understand that, and these Manscaped dollars have to be split, but we'll discuss later.
Split like the hair of my chinny chin chin. Never. Thanks. My testicles. Never. I would never. Okay, so
you're saying that you're saying that the DMT at the Ritz is not dark. I'm
saying that's all good. I'm saying the dark part is that he is like,
he's got kids. I agree.
Well, he has kids, but the main reason why he's taking it is because he can do that very powerful drug that, if abused, could send you into a deep mental spiral. And he's like, yeah, this is cool. I'm taking that. He would love to be taking coke or speed or whatever else made him look like like he put a fucking fork into a electrical outlet.
I think he's doing a little bit of everything, fam. Is my guess.
Yeah, but
I don't think you're just vaping DMT if you haven't been doing coke.
No. He said that he was doing DMT because they don't drug test for it. So he's still able to see his kids. So he's like breaking the law in like a very dark way, like
smart way. But yeah, I understand.
A judge was like, you can't see your kids because you're too much of a fuck up. And then he like found a way to beat that system. So then he's like, hey kids, I've been up for 5 days on DMT, fucking like B grade Victoria's Secret models that agreed to let me cut them a little bit in the Cayman Islands and fucking
cut them a little bit.
jack off to their Snapchat. Yeah, so Daddy's been doing that, and
I think it's all very dark, but I also think that he will see a return.
you think this is all part of his story arc, and he will come out on top?
I'm not gonna say like story arc, but I do think that I mean, he's very, very rich and the heir to an incredible fortune and considered like a leading man. He will go to rehab. He will come back. It will be fine. He'll be in movies again in a year to 2 years, I would say.
I think that a good amount of irreparable damage has happened, and it will continue to happen. But also, didn't this happen to like Charlie Sheen when like he went full off the rails, and then they let him be on 2.5 Men, and everyone was like, it's all good.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. I mean, Armie Hammer is also like. His career is fairly new,
and he is the heir to the throne of Arm and Hammer. Is that correct?
Yes, one of. I would assume there's.
I mean, literally, his name being Armie Hammer and him being the heir to the fortune of Arm and Hammer, baking soda money, and also the irony of the baking soda. You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, but
because he is doing more crack than cocaine. I'm assuming at this point, and also
I would hope I'm
seeing a lot of through line similarities between him and Hunter Biden. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he's a less cool Hunter Biden. Like he has less redeeming quality. He just has less redeeming qualities. You know what I mean? Like Hunter Biden is kind of Hunter Biden feels a little more charming to me than Armie Hammer.
Isn't it cool that Armie Hammer? Everyone thinks he's like really handsome, attractive, charming. You know, he's a Winklevoss. He's in Call Me by Your Name, Kissing Timothy. You know, he's a hot as hell guy. Most cool people that we know would rather have sex with Hunter Biden than him.
Definitely,
I think that's pretty cool.
It is very cool. So that means the power of Hunter and his art, his painting. But
also Hunter's not, you know, when he gets a full detail job, really clean under those fingernails, get a nice hot shave, and get him in, you know, something new from the Xenia collection that we all have been dying over.
We've moved on to Prada this morning.
I think he's cleaned up pretty well. We've moved on to Prada?
Yeah, I mean, it's not good, but we've moved on. It's oversized leather bomber jackets and gloves with drug bags on them, pouches.
Okay.
But people will continue to jerk off at the altar of Raph until he dies because he did something interesting 20 years ago. So, you know, that's where we're at.
I've decided to make an oversized bomber again.
But it's really funny because Raph, there's this interview of him and Mrs. Prada in the New York Times, like in conversation, because he took, you know, he's basically taking over. And the only thing I could think of in the picture is that his hair looks like the episode of Seinfeld where they get the bad shower heads.
Oh,
and Jerry's hair.
They have very matted.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're literally, you're incredibly rich and have access to truly the best of everything. And your hair, you're in the New York Times above the fold, giant photo of you, and your hair, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
That hair was a choice. It wasn't a circumstance.
I think it was a choice. Yes, but I guess that he is.
It had to have been.
Raph, I mean, I'm no fashion historian, but he's beloved for his bombers. So I guess a return to form in a pink leather oversized bomber.
Raph and Obama.
$5,000. Yeah, Obama's bomber is Lulu though, so it hits a little different.
I'm talking more about what he's inflicted on the nation of Yemen.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, Raph really has done damage to a lot of countries. But yeah, that's the other hot news. We got fashion shows. You know what I mean? We had Fendi. We had Xenia. We had Prada.
What season was this? This is fall, winter?
Yeah, I think so. Fall, winter 22, 21?
21. It better be 21.
Yeah, 21. But yeah, I didn't really watch any because I just see the pictures and I don't care enough. But I do think that it's
Are you all done with virtual runways, Chris?
I'm done with virtual everything. I just think it's like some of the stuff has actually looked pretty cool and they did a good job, but it's still like. It's just not that. It's never going to be that good, and pretending that it is or trying to.
It still ain't fucking raw.
It ain't the same. So it's like, yeah, you can have male models dancing badly, or you can have, you know, cool neon lights.
You could make a Balenciaga video game where you can walk into a store and then you could leave the store.
The Balenciaga video game is actually a funny idea, but as a known video game hater, I can't support it. But yeah, so it's fashion week.
So you didn't get the update? Okay.
It's fashion week. It's fascism week. It's just, you know, man, it's just, you know, it's
damn. Okay, De La Rocha. Fashion week. More like fascism week.
I can't wait for the inauguration this week. I think it's going to be. I mean,
so that's going down on the 20th, and that's when. Yeah, actually, I was having dinner with my life partner's family yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, you're traveling up north," and I was like, "Oh, we're going to Santa Barbara. It's an hour and a half, not a big deal." And he's like, "Well, make sure you don't go to Sacramento on the 20th."
Well, yeah, all the capitals are locking down. I mean, I talked to my friend.
You are never going to catch me in Sacramento.
Don't worry, we ain't hitting Sacktown on this trip. Actually, though, maybe you should, because Gavin Newsom has Sacramento's open.
Damn, tragic Newsom opened up Sacktown early. Okay.
Interesting choice. I am concerned. I am concerned with the inauguration. I do think there's going to be some more fucking
You predicting some unrest?
I'm predicting some unrest, but also, I mean, I talked to my friend Luke, who lives in DC, and he's like, "Yeah, we're just going to leave town. Like, we're just going to get out of here. It's like looking like a fucking war zone already. There's like tanks on the street, you know."
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to live in DC anyway?
I couldn't agree more. But
it's cold, and the coolest thing you can do is work for the government. No thanks. The only thing cool about Washington D.C., birthplace of Sweet Green.
You know, as I'm deep in the West Wing, you know, I'm at the arc. I'm at the arc in the story where Mary Louise Parker is like a hot love interest for Josh Lyman. And yesterday she was in her beautiful DC apartment, like listening to Van Morrison making coffee. And that's that's the coolest DC's ever looked. I just wanted to say that. So I see the appeal a little bit, but no, I mean, I do think that I haven't checked downtown Atlanta because it's kind of a wasteland that no one actually goes to, but I imagine they've done some preparation.
Sounds like the downtown of Los Angeles as well.
I mean, that's every city's downtown for whatever reason. These are places where people work,
especially in New York.
Well,
woof.
I mean, if you consider downtown like financial district, which is it's the same kind of thing. It just dies at night, like every other downtown. You know what I mean? It's like people work there, and at 5 p.m., like even the restaurants close. You know what I mean? Because it's all like
that
fast
big
casual.
Sculpture of the bull has to go to sleep sometime, right?
He takes a little nappy. Yeah. They put a weighted blanket over him at night, and he sleeps like a baby.
Ooh, but yeah, I'm thinking about crocheting a weighted blanket and put it on that bull as like my form of political activism. What do you think, Chris?
I love when Jason gets political
because that bull is it not feeling the weight of the nation?
I believe it is feeling the weight of the nation, even though the Dow's probably up 7,000 points. But yeah, I don't know what to think. I think it's gonna get. I don't know, man. It's
it's going to be better or worse or as equal to what we saw on the 6th.
Well, I mean, I think that can't happen again. Well, obviously it can, but I don't think it will because now, obviously, even though it was clear that was going to happen, now the government and the police and the feds and whoever have to be prepared because they can't let that happen again on their watch. Even though they're known Trump supporters, they can't let that happen on their watch because it makes them look incompetent.
Feds is watching.
I'd be fresh as hell when the Fed's watching, to quote 2 Chainz. But yeah, I do think that I don't know, man. I mean, these people are fucking nuts, dude.
I think they deployed like 20,000 National Guard troops. I think, which seems like a lot.
The question is though, does it? So let's say more than half of those are probably Trump supporters. You know what I mean? So it's like at a certain point, I just wonder what
more than half of those deployed National Guard people.
Yeah. I would guess. So it's like what goes through your head in that situation? If it's like I literally signed up to defend my country, that's something I care about. I am upset about that my candidate lost, the presidency. If you are a Trump supporter and you also believe the election was stolen, bullshit. If you don't believe that, then you probably just go do your job. If you think the election was stolen, then you're probably going to let some people into a Capitol to zip tie Nancy Pelosi.
Hopefully people don't die.
Yeah, I would like for it to. I mean, honestly, for me and for America, it's time for Joe Biden to take office and for us to fucking get on with it. You know what I mean? Like, the less oxygen we give Donald Trump, the better the world will be. So I think that hopefully he feels a little deflated when his power is gone because his rebuilding phase is going to be rough and funny and to watch, I think.
So we should treat the Donald Trump and his presidency like how we treat our subreddit. Just ignore it, and eventually it will die.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's all you can hope for. Yeah, that's all you can hope for. But I mean, the other interesting thing that I don't know if you watched the clip. I didn't really watch the clip. I just saw someone on Instagram is Ariel Pink going on Tucker Carlson.
I watched a little bit of it.
people, I cannot believe how much people care about Ariel Pink. And like, he's a rich kid. Fuck him. How do you care this much about Ariel Pink? Like, who gives a shit what some like second-rate pitchfork musician that peaked in 2012 is doing? You know, I don't understand. I really don't.
I think that's how COVID has fucked us up so much. We are obsessing over these things that we would have never thought about or considered before. Of like, seemingly cool people have fired off their 7th tweet about Ariel Pink that is meaningless. Of just like, who even freaking liked Ariel Pink before? Like,
yeah, it's like, well,
that's your tweet.
To be fair, kind of everyone did. You know what I mean? To an extent. I just think it's like, yeah, to get upset about Ariel Pink or to like, yeah, Mexican Summer, yeah, you dropped him, yeah, hell yeah. Like, of course they dropped him. It's their chance to drop someone who doesn't sell records anymore. It's like people laying off. You know, employees like trimming the fat because of COVID when they wanted to do it anyway. It's like, yeah, of course. If he would have just gone to the rally, I bet he wouldn't have gotten dropped. But because he went on Tucker Carlson and cried, I would have dropped him too.
Yeah. So he was like, what did you do out there? And he's like, I went there, went and checked out the rally, showed my support for my president, went back to my hotel and went to sleep. Like that's pretty much what he said.
It's so funny. It's all so funny.
Went there to, I mean, you know, he's a massive troll. And
he's trolling. That's the other thing. He is truly trolling, and that's why I expect people that are smart to understand that, but they don't seem to get it.
And you know, also just looking at him, like
the whole thing is a troll.
Are you sad that he's not on your team anymore?
Yeah, you guys can have him.
But also, a lot of people, and I wonder what other musicians fit into this category. A lot of people whose musical tastes I respect still consider him, you know, at the end of the day, to be a musical genius. A lot of people really 1,000%, yeah.
I truly don't even know a song. Like, I'm sure I know one or I've heard one because like that's in theory the kind of music that I like. But I don't know. I just kind of missed the boat on it.
Yeah, I mean, I did too. And his music is definitely not for everyone, but a lot of people really liked his music and I guess still do, but you know, it wasn't like Jared Leto type of shit. Like a lot of people are like, this guy is a true musical genius.
Well, he's also getting killed for being a rich kid, which I always think is so funny to me. Like that's his fault. Like oh yeah, let's crucify him for that too. You can be upset that he supports Donald Trump and that disappoints you because you're a fan, but like, what are you gonna vilify the guy for being fucking born rich? Congratulations, you're jealous.
Even though he is using his rich powers for evil, I do always enjoy and admire when rich people just go full off the reservation and just say like, I'm gonna like do some gnarly ass shit. Like I'm rich as hell, but I'm gonna be like waking up under a bridge. Like I'm not fucking around. I'm a lifer, and I'm gonna do some weird shit with my power. That's always entertaining to me. Unfortunately, he did a bad thing.
It's very entertaining, but he's an idiot. He's a troll, and that's what he's doing. And I guess the sad part is it's working. Like I don't even know if I fully believe him. Like I don't even know if I think he actually is like a Trump supporter or if he just is a contrarian with a platform.
Yeah. I don't think he's a Trump supporter. I think he just thinks this whole thing is really funny and he's bored and he thinks that life is, you know, he's kind of like a homeless joker, you know? He's just like, he just wants to do gnarly shit and see what happens because it's the regular world and the reality that we live in does not, you know, tickle his fancy enough, which is why he enjoys, you know, heroin and shit like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess for some people you can replace your addictions with the addiction to Trump, and that's maybe what Ariel Pink did.
Might as well face it. I'm addicted to Trump.
Might as well face it. I'm addicted to Trump.
They've been using YMCA the entire time. They could have done that. They could have done that the last 4 years. That could have saved his presidency.
So, Jason, if Jared Kushner came to you and asked you to be the musical director of the Trump campaign, would you have done it?
Would I be the broke mogul for Trump?
Yeah, would you
Yeah, how much money would you have to take to be the musical supervisor for the Make America Great campaign? You're like, look.
When every single artist says no to you and hates you.
Oh yeah. That's a tough gig. I mean, it's hard enough getting syncs for Entourage too, but like, imagine what. You're like, so I just got off the horn. I think it's going to be a no from Chris Martin. I don't think he's going to let us use "Fix You" on as the. That's a song. The song is not about the economy.
Like, the metaphor, like "fix you," like us doing that for the American people. It's like I really felt that to my core. But yeah, he said no. In fact, he said go fuck yourself. So I didn't want to tell you that, but yeah, the musical director for the. I mean, they've had to use the
note to self. Put Coldplay "Fix You" on the end of this episode.
Yeah, always. They did a really. I mean, they really had to use some terrible music. I mean, I will say the Biden inauguration lineup. I can't remember who's on it, but it's not flooring me.
No, they got some big people. I don't know. You know, it's better than like Miguel or something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know what I did see?
No, I think he has Lady Gaga.
Oh, that's true. Actually, I think Lady Gaga's singing the national anthem. Maybe.
Oof. That heifer.
I can't wait. I'm Gaga Hive. You already know that.
Yeah, she's cool.
I'm a little monster, Jason. And you can put it on God. I'm a little monster, and I'm gonna sing that loud and fucking proud.
Of all the Stan group nicknames, Little Monster is pretty bad. I would expect something better from Lady Gaga.
I actually like the Little Monster thing because it's not a bad pun on her name.
Yeah, that is true. But sometimes a bad pun on the artist's name is exactly what we need.
Is funny. I also saw that, speaking of pop stars, I saw that Selena Gomez is speaking out against big tech. You know? And I was just like, I find it very ironic that a person who is, she may not be currently, but at a point in the recent past, was the number one most followed person on Instagram, a Facebook owned app. So she's literally directly making millions of dollars and now coming out as holier than thou against big tech.
I don't know. Like, what is her problem with big tech though? I haven't seen it.
I think she's just like, it's evil, you know?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Which is like, yeah.
So she saw a Netflix doc and she's like, no, it's bueno.
She literally has 203 million followers on Instagram.
That's great.
And her bio says by grace, comma, through faith.
Bars. Okay.
So she getting her little.
Unfortunately, Selena Gomez hasn't made a good song in a long time, but she does have some classics under her belt.
I'm a Selena Gomez fan. I just find it just seems all very ironic to me for someone like that who's literally stood on the shoulders of big tech to become rich and famous, to be coming at them in a statement.
Yeah, but every person kind of goes through this stage at some point, don't they? Somebody will tweet about like chemtrails or something like that.
Don't talk about Lana again. We already talked about her on the other podcast.
I'm trying to remember that Selena Gomez song.
Also, I heard
featuring the scene.
I was out somewhere yesterday. I think it was the grocery store, maybe.
Okay.
And I heard a song that I liked, and I used my favorite app, Shazam. Use code GONE at checkout for free Shazam, and
free Shazam.
It was a Lana Del Rey song.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Do you remember which one?
I just looked it up. Happiness is a Butterfly.
Oh, yeah. That is a pretty good song. Okay, well, I'm glad, Lana can still tug on those dick strings.
Well, I made an admission to the group chat yesterday about some other new music I'm listening to, and I just want to come out now.
Please.
Publicly.
Show your bravery.
And, this is a lot for me to kind of talk about this publicly.
Speak, brother Chris.
Jason has been a big beacon of support during this difficult time for me. But I've
been your fucking rock.
Jason is my rock. But I had, for the last 48 hours, I've absolutely been banging SZA Good Days in the Impala. It's my cross to bear.
Speaking of Impala, right now, so many guys wearing Champion hoodies just crashed their car off of a ravine after hearing that news.
This is big news for me to come out publicly as I still think R&B as a genre in its modern sense is a little boring to me, even though it might have been my favorite genre growing up, like a Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey era of. I mean, I think that's considered the golden era, though. To be fair,
right. You like that old type of rock and roll,
yes, but
not this new bullshit that these damn kids listen to. Some R&B with some soul, major dick.
Exactly.
Dick
well, I also heard that Division covered Kings of Leon. Use somebody, so I wanted to jump off a bridge when I heard that. But this is a song. This is a song. I have to say, you know what really hooked me in? I mean, her voice is incredible. I've always said that, but the lush production. The production feels expensive. It feels like a supple leather.
What's the name of this song, Chris?
It's called "Good Days." It's a single. It came out recently. It came out a couple weeks ago.
Sounds like an Australian coffee shop.
SZA's been hiding out from COVID down under.
Yeah, I'm going to rock up to Good Days for a latte. Oh, yeah, what can I get started for you? Are
those fresh? But the song, I mean, look, this is not a surprise to anyone on this podcast because I think the world likes SZA in general. But yeah, it really bangs. So I'm
going to listen to this song, Chris.
It's a good song. I would love for you to listen to it and tell me what you think. I really do like it quite a lot, and it's a departure for me because otherwise I've been listening to Chris stuff.
Chris stuff. That's what you say when you go do your white shit. When you have kids, you're like, Daddy's gonna go do his Chris stuff now.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing down in my man cave.
What do you mean, Papa? I'm gonna watch tennis videos on YouTube.
Exactly. I mean, look. If yesterday I listened to SZA and watched chiropractor videos because I was so worn out from exercise that I had nothing left.
Mm-hmm. So SZA, chiro vids, don't bother me.
That's literally like, yeah. Don't. Mm-hmm. If the back is a cracking, don't come a knacking.
Wow. Okay. Cairo Hive just lost it after that pun.
Cairo Hive. I got bars for all the Cairo heads out there.
Yeah, what's cracking? That's what I said. Some small developments for me. We a few days ago, I had a positive run-in with a guy wearing a Barstool Sports knitted sweater, and it was
knitted like a piece of knitwear, like a not a sweatshirt,
a piece of knitwear.
Oh,
and I didn't know that existed, but it was like. But like the kind of person who wears it, like I don't know if they know what they're doing, Like I don't know if they understand the gravity of everything.
Yo, bro, I don't know if you know.
I don't know anything about Barstool. I've never really listened to any of it. I know what it used to be and what it is
Jason,
now.
don't. Now you're lying to people because I've seen your Call Me Daddy subscription. So before they move networks,
look. Daddy Gang is different, okay?
Between,
but like you can buy like a hoodie on Barstool that says positive vibes only, and I don't think that is true but maybe it is.
Look, as a person who's I've been to the Barstool compound in Madison Square Park in New York City multiple times to record episodes of a podcast that you may be familiar with. It is truly
part of my take.
A disgusting shithole. Like it's disgusting, and like it's just like men should not be allowed to live like that. Like that should not be a place where people are allowed to go. It literally feels like a frat. It feels like a frat house. I'm not exaggerating. There's like pizza boxes, and I told you this story before. I think in the bathroom at Barstool Sports, there's a chart above the toilet that tells you if you're healthy based on what color your urine is.
While you get a little bit of your pee-pee on your slides that say hung on one side and over on the other.
Exactly. It's an insane place because also they're worth like $100 million. So you're like
way more.
This office is disgusting because you choose to you like this. Like this is how you want to live in this male squalor that smells like stale beer, cum, and football. You know what I mean? It's just
But
my nightmare.
The guy who created it, he is a terrible person, but he was very smart to find this subsect of person that has been under our nose. Yeah, Dave. He's been under there. Millions of these people have been under, just living amongst us without a leader. and he's kind of, similar to a Rogan style person, where like you're not all bad, but you mean well. You're probably a good person at the end of the day, but you have a few theories and outlooks on the world that maybe need to be corrected.
Yeah, you're Q leaning for sure. Wait. So you ran into a Barstool bro. What was the positive part of this?
So I was walking out of my local liquor store. They call them bodegas in New York, Yang Gang. And and I was walking.
Let me get a slice, please.
So it was Glendale has a bodega as well, and I went there to go pick up some of my Goya beans as I do every weekend.
You ain't got bodegas in California.
And I went to go pet the bodega cat because they all have a cat, don't they? And I was walking out, and then a guy was walking in, and he was like as tall as I am, kind of like a dopey white guy, and he's like, "Hey man, how tall are you? I don't meet a lot of guys who are taller than me. It's pretty awesome." And it was like he was a couple Michelob Ultras short of a sixer. He meant well, but it was just like I don't know. It was.
Did he pull up in a golf cart or was it a regular car?
He may as well have, but he like held the door open for me, and I can't explain it. Like he talked to me in a way that only the mind of a simple person could talk to me in
like it was like a childlike approach that was non-confrontational, but also not overly friendly.
Yeah. In a way that was almost refreshing, of just like, hey, you're like, I haven't seen you around this neighborhood, and it's nice to know that I'm not the tallest guy in the neighborhood. Have a good day. And I was like, wow, that's like more of an interaction than I have with almost anybody on a day-to-day basis. And it was, it was earnest, coming from like a sweet, well-to-do-ish looking person, but he did, look like he would fail an IQ test, or at least, score in the 60% percentile group. Well,
to be fair, I don't know if you would do that well on one either, but I appreciate.
I would do better than him, I would say.
Okay.
But it was an odd and confusing moment of like, nice guy, idiot, Barstool sweater. Like the whole thing shook me to the core, and I haven't.
But you couldn't hate.
I couldn't hate. It was a positive experience.
Honestly, I think that's something that I forget about being in Atlanta, is that you can have these kind of normal interactions with people that you don't align with on everything, and it's kind of nice to remember that happens, because in New York and LA that doesn't really happen very often.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you hang out with me, because I'm a waver. I like to wave at strangers.
Yeah, and you're gonna get punched for that one day. If you were 5'11", you'd have already gotten a tooth knocked out for doing that.
Look, I don't think that's true. Nobody's ever been waved at by me and wanted to square up with TJ.
That's because you're a big bitch, and they think you're tough. They think that you could do something.
Nobody thinks I'm tough.
They might. I mean, I don't, because I know you.
Children.
A good point. They don't. They think you're a monster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
if they only knew the real me, they would know that I'm a real big pussy.
Yeah, I just listened to SZA in my Tesla.
But so we were. LP and I were down in Long Beach pulling up to the Restoration Hardware just to sniff around. And there was a houseless man walking across the street. He was like sort of halfway between regular looking Orange County bro who just looks like he works construction, but he had like a sleeping bag on his shoulder, and he was a little dirty. So I was like, oh, he's actually a houseless guy. And he was looking straight ahead, like with kind of a locked gaze, just in his own world. And then he turned his head perfectly right in front of me, locked eyes with me, and then waved at me with like a weird little smile, and then turned back around, not unlike you would see the Joker doing, perhaps. And then my life partner was like, see how that felt? That's how everyone feels when you wave at them.
Yeah.
And I
no
said,
one likes to be waved
disagree.
at by... No one wants to be waved at by somebody they don't know.
I think that's I hope that's not true, and I try to create a world that I'm living in that is okay with saying hi to a stranger, just to let them know.
No, Jason, that's not. No, see, that's not what I'm saying. Saying hi is one thing. The wave is what takes it over the line.
What if I'm too far to talk to them, too far away?
Then you don't need to do anything. That's the whole thing.
This reminds me of that commercial, like it's like an insurance commercial where the guy's telling people that they don't have to do certain things. if you're at Home Depot and somebody walks by with blue hair, you don't have to like say that guy has blue hair.
It's true. The same thing if you're wearing a Barstool Sports sweater, you don't have to approach Jason and say, damn, bro, you're tall. But you liked it. So whatever. What are you supposed to do?
Well, I'm going to keep on waving at strangers and flashing them my pearly whites, and they're going to continue to not punch me, and they're going to be like, hey, that tall guy, that was a good wave.
Jason, I had something else I want to talk to you about. Just as a member of the cooking community, I have been alerted that Paris Hilton does have a Netflix cooking show coming.
I have no interest in watching Selena Gomez's cooking show.
Paris, I'm in.
100% down to watch Paris Hilton.
She's got Demi Lovato and Kim Kardashian confirmed as guests. So this could be big.
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Or you're that big of a Demi head?
No. The only Demi I want to see Paris cooking with is a demi glace. That's for my real cooking heads listening right now.
I would go more, but sure. I think that Demi Lovato.
Look, Demi's been through a lot though.
Demi's been through a lot, but I
just happen to not like the music that she makes.
She's one of those people who makes awful music but can sing maybe better than anybody else. It's a very strange.
Oh.
She has an incredible voice, incredible range. But just the song, she just cannot get a song that's good. I mean, she's had hits, of course, but they're not good.
She's like the Ariel Pink of pop music, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
The pipes on that little cat.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And she looks like a lesbian too, so it kind of works out.
Also, speaking of cats, and we were talking and sniffing around about the idea of rescuing another small animal, a dog. I know this does not please you, and we would not use any boutique adoption service that's
your loss,
like the LaBelle Foundation, the twisted and crooked LaBelle Foundation. We found a dog that came over. It was being fostered by like a young couple, just some random looking people that look like they play video games and watch Rick and Morty. Very nice, sweet people.
You looked in the mirror.
We're doing like a social distance dog meet and greet, to see if this dog gets along with our current dog, if it's going to be a crazy fit, if it's going to be good or bad, whatever. And the dog, it's a male dog. And Carolyn, my girlfriend, she could not stop fixating on the fact that this dog has a giant dick, huge, hung like a human.
What kind of dog is this? Not that I'm going to know.
This is like a small, like 15-pound, like little kind of fluff ball dog. Like looks like some little scruffy doodle thing. The dick was a third of the entire body length.
My G was swanging.
He was big swanging, and I noticed it and I saw it and it was fine. It wasn't.
What's the dog's name?
Flurry or Fluffy or something like that. Froggy. Or are you trying to look this thing up?
Fuck no,
Chris. You're perverted.
I hate dogs, and
I'll send you meat pics. Don't worry.
Thank you.
But so she's looking like they're trying to tell us all this stuff about the dog, like blah blah blah, house trained, and he's really good with toys and at the dog park, and the whole time she's just like, big old dick, can't focus. And then while that's going on, the dog goes and walks behind the girl owner, mm-hmm. who's like kind of like kneeling on the ground and like playing around, and the dog lifts his leg up and starts pissing on her.
No,
during the meet and greet, and I'm like, this dog is straight up going to be euthanized because it's never going to get adopted because people are either going to be threatened and intimidated by the size of his hog, or it's just going to piss on people. It's going to like, are you my new mommy, and then piss right on him.
It all goes back to the hog.
And I was thinking, like so many things in this world, it all goes back to that nice huggy. And I was wondering, what is a more cruel, twisted fate to, meet your final demise as a young rescue puppy? Death because your dick is too big, or death because you can't stop peeing on people?
So did the owner like act so shocked? Like, I can't believe he never does this kind of thing?
Yes. And I was like, I call bullshit. This dog likes to piss on you. It's done it before, and this won't be the last time that it does.
Definitely not.
So yeah, God, the world of animal adoption is twisted. The world of rescuing
animals having a pet having a pet is one of the most baffling things on this earth for me. I just cannot wrap my head around it.
I know, and I used to be the same way as you, but it is nice a little bit. The one thing, the main like big thing that I like about it is the having like the animal's senses around in terms of like safety is nice. Like I know, like
bitch, what the fuck you think Margot's gonna do if somebody comes in with the Draco trying to take your podcasting equipment?
Look, it's if I'm home alone and I'm gone off the edibles and I'm feeling paranoid. I want to have.
Shout out Gaga. Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, and if my senses have been dulled thanks to that sweet flower, I like knowing that there's a dog there that always is. You know, the hearing, the sound, all those senses are like 5,000 times as powerful as mine. So you know, if something does happen, the dog will let me know. And if it's like 3 a.m. and I hear some like crazy sound in the backyard, I'm like, oh God, what is that? Like, do I need to like go put pants on and get a flashlight and make sure that, you know, somebody's not trying to murder my family, or, you know, a raccoon got stuck in a chimney or whatever. And then the dog will let me know. I'll look at the dog and the dog will be like, no, it's all good. Go back to sleep.
I know how dogs work, Jason, but you're telling me that you're so fucked up off edibles that you need a dog to bark so that you like, I just don't.
No, the edible part doesn't matter. It could also be stone cold sober. It's more of like, if I hear something and I wonder if it's worth checking out or not, the dog will let me know. I can look at the dog and the dog will shoot me a glance back of like, it's all G, go back to watching.
So you're telling me
TV.
So you're telling me that's worth picking up shit off the ground in public for a lifetime? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm saying that is one positive attribute of the dog that I didn't realize until I lived with it. But it's also nice to just have a little
I like the idea of walking.
No, the walking part is the biggest thing, because if I were to walk around my neighborhood alone waving at strangers, I would
serial killer.
I would be it would be serial killer behavior. If you just live in Los Angeles at all and you are walking without, I mean, you have to be wearing workout clothes, you have to be running or jogging, or people are like, who the fuck is this person? Do I need to call my neighborhood watch? But if you have a dog, free reign to do anything. I could walk onto people's lawns, I can, you know, do whatever. You have free reign to stroll around, which is a
That's
basic
true.
human right that we have lost in.
We know
in Los
that
Angeles.
we know you like to forage flowers and vegetables from unsuspecting yards all over Glendale. So if you have a cute doggo with you, they're not going to pull out the chopper on you when you grab a lemon.
That is true, and if they do, I'll see their asses in court. Chris, so we have a great 3-day weekend coming up. Even though today is a holiday, MLK, shout outs to the god Martin. We still have more content coming out. So if you are enjoying your bank holiday weekend, just kidding. You don't have a job. You don't have an office.
BBC Radio 1, Annie Mac, bank holiday weekend, new mix for you.
Are you raving or behaving?
Are you raving or behaving?
We'll get on with it then. Yeah, tonight. So yeah, you know, tomorrow's Monday. I got no job. I got no school. Day off, baby. So tonight I'm gonna get twisted.
I have 2 calls tomorrow and a ring session followed by a tennis lesson. So again, all you losers that take days off, this is not the podcast for you.
Your tennis game, how is it going? Is it improving? Do I need to worry about when you return to Los Angeles in just a couple weeks?
It is improving, honestly. I think the biggest thing that I've learned from Jordan is I'm getting much better at it
it has a name.
Hitting my forehand with a lot of topspin, but baseline just over and over, just hitting the baseline in the back, which is gonna fuck you up when I go for the ankles.
Painting the
corners, but also my net game has improved quite a lot.
Yeah, your net game bananas.
A few a few tips from him have really stuck with me, and
yeah, you are a problem at the net.
But otherwise, it's more just consistency. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's really nice to hit with somebody who's just like, every ball is going to come back, and you're not going to win a point. There's no points being played. You're just going to hit 10,000 balls in an hour and feel exhausted, but that's how you get better.
Yeah, the 10,000 ball rule. Yeah, and that's the 10,000 ball rule that we are implementing on manscaped.com.
Yes.
We will not stop until 10,000 balls get neatly trimmed without any nicks, cuts, or blood.
It's going pretty well. I mean, the serve is just going to be a challenge, but I've kind of...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've definitely improved, but I also think that it's a mechanical thing, and I think that luckily my toss is in a good place, which I think is kind of the
yeah, without the toss, you've got nothing.
Well, the backbone feels like that feels like the backbone of the service game.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think that you start playing with velocity on the swing and shit.
Yeah, that's like, hey, are you becoming a good Formula One driver? And you're like, I'm getting really good at starting the car. I'm feeling really good about putting the keys in and turning it. And it starts
well, okay, Jason. Well, luckily my shit's pushed to start, so I don't even know about that. You know what I mean? So couldn't be me, bro. But yeah, it's been good. And I mean, the weather here has just been pretty nice, so it's like easy to play. But I'm coming back to. I got a ticket today. My return to LA is imminent, TJ.
Ooh, well, I'm going to
shout out to my family at Delta One. You know what I'm saying? You already know the vibes.
Hell yeah. Literally in 4 hours, I have a court reservation at the hotel clay courts. I'll be claying it up.
Have you played on clay before?
I've done it one time, and I was not playing a serious game. I was just kind of mucking about. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to see what it will do to my Coke White Kobe's though.
Your Coke White Kobe is going to be looking like you went down to the creek in Georgia with that red clay. But it is, I mean, be prepared because the game is a little different. You know what I mean? It's a little slower. You will slip and slide. But luckily, I mean, are you playing with Carolyn or a pro?
I'm just playing with Bay, so it'll be more of a casual fun game. Well,
when we take our How Long Gone riding retreat back to Santa Barbara, we can play some real matches on that clay. We'll leave it all on the clay.
Yeah, I'm just dying to get that novel finished up with you.
Never been to Santa Barbara. I told you that, right?
No, but it seems like a place that you would love.
Yeah, no, we're gonna go. I've just never been, and I
white Republicans
don't do that. Okay, you can't do that. Look, we're both from white Republican. Well, actually, now officially, Orange County is more Republican than Atlanta, Georgia. How fucked up is that?
No, the OC turned blue a few years ago, thanks to my Asian familia. So I'm welcome to the team, Chris. I know it's been a couple weeks since you guys turned blue, but we've had it for a while now.
Oh, I didn't know that. I actually didn't know
also, RIP Orange County to the Disneyland annual pass. They announced that Disneyland and Dodger Stadium are turning into vaccination centers, which is so fucking weird to think that Disneyland is just like, oh, we don't do anything except give people vaccinations.
We have to go get vaccinated at Disney. That's the content people need. Us walking around Disneyland.
I don't, but when they announced that it's going to become a vaccination center instead of an amusement park, they also said that they're going to cancel their annual passes, which for all these Disney people who are, I grew up around everybody having an annual pass at Disneyland, and then it was cute for a while, and then a lot of people turned into like adults well into their 30s and 40s and beyond who become these obsessed Disneyland people.
It's one of the weirdest. It's honestly one of the weirdest.
I have a lot of friends who are still doing it, so I feel bad talking shit about it.
I don't feel bad at all. You're a freak. If you're an adult that has a Disney season pass, you're insane.
And especially if you don't have any kids and it's just like a thing that you do.
Yeah.
But I kind of understand it a little bit, but once you get a certain age, like you're escaping reality, and it's turning into a weird dark place where
that's what drugs are for, losers. Get the DMT, get the DMT jewel like Armie, so you don't have to have a sticker with ears on the back of your car.
The side effects of creating an alternative reality that you prefer from drugs are actually better than the side effects that you get from becoming a Disneyland annual pass holder.
When I first got to LA in June, and I don't know why I'd never noticed this before. I guess it was just such a long stretch of time, but I kept seeing those stickers on cars, and I really didn't know what they were. I was like, what is this? There's so many. It's actually staggering how many you see. It's staggering how many you see in a day. I'm sure it's like that in Orlando, too.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, it was social suicide if you did not have an annual pass.
Well, that's because you guys were trying to hook up on a ride. What is the price looking like on that? Is it? I mean, I'm sure it's gone up, but is it like $200 or like $500?
When I was in high school, it was like $130, and now it's definitely closer to $5.
That's really some news you can only get from the LA Times. You know what I mean? The other newspaper.
That's why we have a Coastal Elite podcast, Chris. You handle the East Coast, I'll handle the West.
Thank you for that breaking news.
And also, right now, the surf in Huntington, it's about 3-4 footers right now. It's kind of choppy. Winds are like 10 out of southwest. Check out Trestles. Oceanside's pumping right now, and Ventura's looking pretty good for. You got like 2 more hours, and then honestly, don't even bother.
Don't even bother. You got 2 more hours, bro. You got to pack it up.
All right. Well, speaking of packing up, I got to go edit this podcast and leave because in 4 hours I got a court time.
God bless. I need to please send me a picture of the Kobe's after the match.
I will send the before and after from Coke White to Clay Brown.
Love your work, TJ. Everybody, How Long Gone. Please check out How Long Gone Radio on Spotify. Every week we break down the new and good, bad, and indifferent music. Enjoy this. We'll be back Wednesday and Friday with new episodes and just more fire for your head talk coming soon.